Good evening and welcome to Troop 542 Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Eagle Scout Evan Bionde and Peter Johnson. We will have the invocation by Carol Faddis, maternal grandmother of Peter Johnson.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather here tonight at the Eagle Scout Court of Honor to celebrate these two young men who are about to become Eagle Scouts. We ask that you would bless Evan Scott Bionde and Peter Kim Johnson, their families, their Scout leaders, and those who have supported them in their efforts to build leadership and the advancement of Scouting. Tonight we celebrate their journey, a journey full of challenges, friendship, and struggles. We also think of the merit badges they earned along the way, and the character they worked so hard to bring about. We ask that you will guide and direct them as they continue on life's pathway, and pray that their accomplishments will inspire others to follow their lead and strive for excellence. We thank you for hearing our prayer tonight, for we offer it in the name of our Creator. Amen.
Thank you, Carol. Now I'd like to introduce Michael Robinson as Senior Patrol Leader for Troop 542. He'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise and pledge allegiance. Raise the flag. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Scouts, please join me in the oath of law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country. May this scout law help other people at all times. Keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. That's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Thank you, Michael. Please be seated. Give us a brief description of the Eagle Award with Patrick Freyla from the Cradle of Liberty Council. He's a commissioner with the council.
First, on behalf of the Cradle of Liberty Council and myself, congratulations to Evan and Peter. And also thank you to Troop 542 for inviting me here today. I'm honored to be with you and to share a little bit about the significance of the Eagle Scout Award. And unfortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles did not give us anything to celebrate today. These two did. So this is great. My name is Patrick Freyla. I'm the Council Commissioner of the Cradle of Liberty Council. And as are, I suspect, many others in the room here, I'm also an Eagle Scout. And I'm also very proud that I actually have a son who has also achieved that rank. Evan and Peter, you should be very proud about achieving the rank of Eagle Scout because it does not come easily. The Eagle Scout Award is the highest rank in Scouting that is available to youth, and it's a journey of perseverance. It's a long process and represents many years of dedication. Along the way, the Scout must master a curriculum of outdoor and life skills. They will have to earn over 21 merit badges. They must show leadership in several positions of responsibility. And this is all capped off by planning and leading a major community service project. But most importantly, that Scout must demonstrate the willingness to live by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law that you heard them repeat before. A real code to live by in life. And at the end of this journey, what the result results are, for a young man or a young woman, they've developed a sense of leadership, a sense of citizenship, and a sense of personal responsibility. And it's a very select group of young people who earn an Eagle Scout. As fewer than 4% of all Scouts will complete this journey, and most will go on to really great things. As we all know, one has been the President of the United States, many have been in Congress, astronauts, generals, admirals, CEOs, and many more have all attained rank of Eagle Scout. But the journey of Eagle Scout takes a village. A village probably of hundreds of people, maybe not more, including fellow Scouts, their leaders, their friends, their teammates, their family, and of course their parents. And the reason I say, of course, parents, because we all know that they're the ones who are prodding and probing, right? And they're the ones who are probably the biggest supporters and fans. And as a result, they should all share with you today this honor. And I hope that you will honor them in terms of the support that they've given you. But my most important message today is today completes that journey of perseverance in earning the Eagle Scout Award. But most importantly, today begins that new lifelong journey of being an Eagle Scout. And that the best is yet to come for both of you. So congratulations again to both of you. Please be sure to pay it forward with all the things that you gained along this journey and enjoy today to the fullest.
Thank you, Patrick. This time it gives me my pleasure to introduce John Schultz, our Scoutmaster, who will then introduce our Eagle Scouts.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Jason, can you please come forward? We have one of our recent Eagle Scouts, Jason Sergio, who will help escort these guys up to the stage. So Eagle Scout Jason Sergio, would you please escort Evan Biondi up to the platform for us? A little background on Evan. Just a note that there's a lot of information in the bulletin that you guys picked up when you came in. If you didn't get one, you can grab one on the way out. So feel free to read that at a later time, and I'll come and give you some tidbits that maybe might not be in there as well. So Evan joined Troop 522 in April of 2015 after being a member of a Texas Troop 2010 before coming to us. Over his time in Scout, he's earned a total of 21 merit badges, a couple of them including engineering and railroading. His leadership at Troop 522 was as the chaplain aide. In this position, he helped in programming and leading interfaith services during camping trips and also promoting Faith Scouts of Duty to God as well. With his former Troop 2010, he attended Sea Base in Florida, in the Florida Keys area. That was one of his favorite trips as well, and he attended as a Scout. So one of his favorite memories was Sea Base, and he told me it's because of the beautiful waters and the surrounding land, and also having the opportunity to be overseas for a week, which is something that many Scouts, many boys this age don't necessarily get. His leadership project, which again, there's plenty of details in the pamphlet, included a project for Upper Dublin Parks and Rec at Pine Run State Park, where he led a team of Scouts and friends and family members to build a 300-foot section of new trail for the visitors of that park to be able to enjoy. He currently attends Penn State Abington campus, where he's studying forensic science. Some of his interests outside of Scouting, he enjoys his current job that he has, and he also enjoys spending time with friends. One goal that he has in the near future here is to get all A's in his college semester before the end of the year. One of his most proud moments that he told me about in his Scouting career is completing his Eagle Leadership Service project because he was able to see his own personal growth and how much he had learned over his years in the Scouting program. And lastly, a few words of wisdom that he would pass on to some of these younger guys coming up is to challenge yourself to set priorities and balance time now, as sometimes things get a little bit more difficult later in years when you're into high school or further years as well. So set a focus early on to complete your goals in a timely fashion. So with that, I'd like to introduce Evan Biondi. please escort Eagle Scout Peter Johnson to the stage. Thank you. Peter joined Troop 542 in September of 2013. Over his time in the troop, he's earned a total of 25 merit badges, a few of which include search and rescue, wilderness survival, and welding. His leadership roles in the troop included outdoor ethics guide, instructor, quartermaster, and patrol leader. He's come to Resca Falls with us 5 times now, and Evan has been to Resca Falls as well with us, I believe 2 times with us. His leadership project, and again details in the program, but the basics. Peter led a group of friends and family and fellow scouts in helping the Ambler Junior Baseball and Softball Pickering Park Field House to get cleaned up, to refurbish the inside, and then also at the same time collected used baseball equipment to be donated for use overseas and around the country to underprivileged youth. One of his favorite memories in scouting is when he helped lead the building of a bridge at Resca Falls as a troop service project during summer camp a few years back, which is still strong and standing. He currently attends the Pennsylvania College of Technology up in Williamsport in a residential construction field. Some interests outside of scouting include playing baseball, snowmobiling at his family's cabin, having fun with chainsaws, I don't think juggling, but fun with chainsaws, and spending time in the woods as well. One goal that he has is to finish a first year of college strong as he's going through the next few months here. One of his most proud moments in scouting was helping other scouts while backpacking during some of our backpacking excursions, including carrying extra equipment and even somebody's pack for a period of time. Some words of wisdom that he would pass on to some of our younger scouts here today are actually very similar to Evan. It seems to be a theme going through, but not to procrastinate. Instead, once again, set your goals early and then work hard to accomplish your goals on a timely fashion. It seems to be something that a lot of our Eagle Scouts would like to pass on to the younger scouts. So this is Peter Johnson.
Thank you, John. At this time, I'd like to introduce Arlen Hotchkiss, our Assistant Scoutmaster. He's going to tell us about, introduce us to some of the boys through the trail to Eagle and how they got here.
Thank you, Ed, and good evening. I want to add my personal congratulations to Evan and Peter. Quite a journey, and like Pat always said, you had excellent perseverance to get here, so well done. I'm very proud of you. Tonight we're here to recognize these 2 outstanding young men who earned the rank of Eagle, as you heard, the top rank in the scouting organization. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the requirements, and we've asked members of Troop 542 to come forward and talk about the 6 ranks that these young men had to earn before earning the rank of Eagle. So first, representing the Scout rank is William Gardner. William, please come forward.
To become a Boy Scout, I had to show Scout spirit by understanding and agreeing to live by the Scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code, to show my intention to participate in Scouting by joining the troop, learn some Scout skills including repeating the Pledge of Allegiance, demonstrating Scout signs, salute, and handshake, tying a square knot, and describing the elements of a Scout badge, and completing some exercises with my parents on prevention of child abuse.
Thank you, William. Excellent job. The next rank is that of Tenderfoot, and Connor Colvin will tell us about that.
To become a Tenderfoot Scout, I had to show Scout spirit by memorizing and beginning to live by the Scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code, to learn about my patrol and become active in it, participate in Scouting by learning about my patrol, attending meetings and attending at least one camping trip where I slept in a tent, I pitched it myself, and helped cook one of my patrol's meals. learn some basic Scout skills related to outdoor safety, camping, cooking, knot tying, hiking, display of the flag, physical fitness, basic first aid, and to use the EDGE method to teach a skill.
Thank you, Connor. Well done. Our next scout is Damon's son, and he will tell you about his second class rank.
To become a second-class scout, I had to show scout spirit by continuing to live by the scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code. Participate in scouting by attending meetings in a total of 5 activities since joining. Learn some additional scout skills related to care for the outdoors, camping, cooking, mapping contests, use of knife, axe, and saw, fire building, hiking, participating in a flag ceremony, wild animal identification, basic swimming and swimming safety, intermediate first aid. Participate in a school or community program related to substance abuse, earn some money and save a portion, and show community service by participating in a service project for at least an hour.
Thank you, Damon. Great job. Next, we have Matthew Gregg, who will tell you about the first class rank.
To become a first-class scout, I had to show scout spirit by continuing to live by the scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code, and inviting someone to join our troop. Participate in scouting by attending meetings and a total of 10 activities since joining, and demonstrating leave no trace principles. Learn even more scout skills related to finding directions without a compass, orienteering, nutrition, food storage, food handling and cooking, serve as my patrol's cook for an entire weekend, learning the duties of a citizen from a public official, wildlife identification, making a project using ropes and lashings, swimming and water safety, advanced first aid, learn about internet safety and cyberbullying.
Fantastic job, Matthew. Well done. Up to this point, the scouts are learning basic skills such as first aid, cooking, knot tying. With the star rank, the emphasis changes to more advanced skills, with leadership becoming even more important. Our star representative is Kyle Sergio.
To become a Star Scout, I had to show scout spirit by continuing to live by the scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code. Participating in scouting by being active in my troop and my patrol for 4 months while first class scout. Learning advanced skills by earning a total of 6 merit badges, including 4 from the list required for Eagle. A typical 6 merit badges for a Star Scout would be swimming, citizenship in the community, life-saving, family life, basketry, and leatherworking. Shows community service by participating in service projects for at least 6 hours while the first class scout. Determine leadership by serving in the troop for 4 months in improved leadership positions such as assistant patrol leader, librarian, historian, or den chief.
Thank you, Kyle. Nice job. Our next rank is that of life. This is the last step before Eagle, and the requirements are becoming even more difficult. Our life representative is Peter's brother, Griffin, and he will tell you about that rank.
To become a Life Scout, I had to show scout spirit by continuing to live by the scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code. Participate in scouting by being active in the troop and my patrol for 6 months while All-Star Scout. Learn advanced skills by earning an additional 5 merit badges, including 3 more from the list required for Eagle. So I had a total of 11 of them. A typical 5 merit badges for someone progressing to life to earn might be camping, first aid, citizenship in the nation, computers, and golf. Use the EDGE method to teach a younger scout several of his requirements. Show community service by participating in another service project for at least 6 hours while All-Star Scout. Demonstrate leadership by serving in the troop for 6 months in approved leadership positions such as assistant senior patrol leader, scribe, quartermaster, or patrol leader.
Thanks, Griffin. Excellent job. The next representative is Jason Sergio, who you've already met. Jason earned his Eagle rank in June of this year.
To become an Eagle Scout, I had to show Scout spirit by continuing to live by the Scout oath, law, motto, and outdoor code. Participate in scouting by being active in the troop and my patrol for 6 months while a Life Scout. Learn advanced skills by earning an additional 10 merit badges, including the remaining 6 from the list required for Eagle, so that I had a total of 21 in all. A typical 10 merit badges for someone completing his Eagle to earn might be citizenship in the world, communication, cooking, personal fitness, environmental science, personal management, small boat sailing, engineering, model design and building, and atomic energy. Provide service to the community by planning, developing, and giving leadership to others in a service project helpful to a religious institution, a school, or our community. Other scouts from the troop provide a source of helpers for the project, which typically takes a total of 200 hours of effort. Demonstrate leadership by serving in the troop for 6 months in an approved leadership position, such as Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, Scribe, Quartermaster, or Patrol Leader.
Thank you, Jason. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, standing before you is the Trail to Eagle, as represented by Troop 542 Scouts. Behind them are 2 outstanding young men who have climbed this long trail and persevered to reach Scouting's top rank. You are now welcome to come forward and take pictures of this fine young representative. Gentlemen, please scoot forward a bit. Scouts, you may now take your seats.
Now, at this time comes the most entertaining part of the ceremony. We're going to show a video of some of the boys presented, prepared by Mike Myers and Mike Gibson. So, Pat, turn the lights on. Thank you.
Evan and Peter started on their trail to Eagle in 2013, with Evan joining Troop 2010 in Texas, and Peter joining Troop 542. Peter's love for camping was evident immediately, and he earned his first rank, the rank of Scout, in December of 2013. Having joined the troop a year later than most boys, Peter became a part of the Lightning Patrol, where he made a mark for himself, helping out at summer camp and being an active part of the patrol. You'll see him climbing the 42-foot climbing tower at Resco Falls, being a part of Skips with his patrol, helping out on the troop's service project, and then some video clips of the water slides at Klubeck. Compete in one of our epic movie-making competitions at Camp and Mount, and then earned the second-class rank at the summer holiday party. In January of 2015, a record snowfall at Klondike Derby allowed Peter to show off his attle skills. Although cold and windy, Peter and his fellow scouts enjoyed a van trip to the nation's capital in March of 2015, where they visited the Air and Space Museum, various memorials around the city, and stopped at Arlington National Cemetery to pay honor to a former Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 542, John Alloway. After moving north from Texas, Evan joined Troop 542 in April of 2015 and entered the Cougar Patrol. He was then invested at our June clothing campfire of that year. Evan learned his scouting basics during his time with Troop 2010 in Texas. He also had the opportunity to attend the Florida Sea Base with them, one of Boy Scouts of America's premier high-adventure bases. Never wanted to miss a week at Prescott Falls, Peter came to camp with us that year, and you'll see a video of the Lightning Patrol fighting hard to win the campfire games. Campfires, shooting sports, and paddleboards are often part of every Scout's adventures. Only a few ever earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Here you'll see Peter represent the first class rank at one of our Eagle ceremonies in October of 2015. In that same month, Evan learned the basics of leadership at our Introduction to Leadership Skills training. All our junior leaders get a taste of what it means to lead other Scouts, and Evan had the job of chaplain. Both boys attended our cabin trip to Bayshore in November before the holiday party in December of 2015, where Evan earned his life rank, the last step before Eagle. With perfect weather for a gold rush at Camp Hart, the boys helped their patrols show off their first aid skills by carrying an injured victim across a snowy field. the troop tried a new activity while cabin camping at Camp Ware, an extreme board games competition. Although Peter's genuine career never took off, Evan was able to use his skills learned at ILST to lead the troop in their Sunday morning interfaith service. Now an instructor with the troop, Peter helped some of our younger scouts at Fort Washington State Park learn their basic scout skills. Traveling back in time, the troop's March van trip was to the Mystic Seaport in New England. While Evan helped the Cougar Patrol build the catapults at Hawk Mountain Scout Reservation, Peter was wrapping up requirements to earn his star rank at the troop dinner in April. Always a favorite of Troop 542, Evan and his dad attended the Lehigh River whitewater rafting trip before both boys went off to Resca Falls in August of that year. Always looking for ways to put his construction skills to use, Peter helped lead our bridge building project at camp that year. Our backpacking trip in September took us to the Thunder Swamp Trail, just a few miles up the road from Resca Falls Scout Reservation. The crews were able to stop and check out the falls and the new Eisner Handicraft Pavilion on their way home. With the fall of 2016 moving into high gear, Evan and Peter helped the patrols collect cans for scouting for food, and then film new blockbusters at Camp Mac during our movie making competition. The lack of snow in January of 2017 didn't stop Peter and the Lightnings from competing in the district's Gold Rush before heading to Camp Horseshoe for our mousetrap car races. After climbing at Birdsboro Quarry in April near French Creek State Park, Troop 542 hosted several Canadian Scouts in the Scope Olympia program in May of that same year. With his final year in the Lightning Patrol, Peter attended Resca Falls and took on some more advanced skills, like shotgun shooting. Some of our patrols hit record numbers in the Scouting for Food drive before heading up to Broad Creek Scout Reservation for our November cabin camp. Now moving into his final year of Scout in Troop 542, Peter joined us at Hawk Mountain Scout Reservation, where he taught mountain compass skills to some of our younger scouts, and then enjoyed the troop carnival with games and frolicking. Using the skills learned in his scouting career, each boy completed a leadership service project, with Evan doing trail restoration for a local park and Peter collecting used baseball gear for underprivileged youth. While every scout has the opportunity to achieve the rank of Eagle, most never do. We are very proud of Evan and Peter for the hard work they have put into this achievement, and our hope is that the leadership skills and strong character they have developed here will guide them through their future years. Congratulations.
So this part of the program is a recognition of the Eagle Scouts. And so first we will have Scott speak on behalf of Evan. Scott was Cub Master and a Scout Master for Troop 2010 in Texas before he moved up here.
Thank you, guys. Good evening, Scoutmasters, Scouts, ladies and gentlemen, but most especially Evan and Peter. Evan, I know you're aware, but as an Eagle Scout, you are joining a very select group. While there are many young men who join Boy Scouts, only 2% overall have joined Scouting. The last year it was 7% have joined Scouting made an Eagle rank. So we're on an upswing, so that's good. But it's still a very small percentage that make it to this level. I think it takes three things to become an Eagle Scout. Some of it was mentioned here tonight. Desire and drive, that comes from the Scout. But also family support and encouragement. And when I say family, in the two rows in front of us, you see the family that's here, that's supporting. And so when I see Victor, Evan's grandfather, who was really the impetus for Evan joining Scouts. Victor is an Eagle Scout. And so when Evan came home one day with a flyer, my wife said, Evan's going to join Scouting. And I said, okay. His grandmother and stepmother, so Janet, Liz, thanks for being here, for their family support and encouragement the whole time throughout the journey. Jamie, his mother, my wife, who helped Evan get to meetings, and she actually did attend the river rafting trip and was the only mom who went. So she's been a trooper too, and she helped everything get uniformed right when he was little, go to meetings, drive to places, clean uniforms, make sure everything was running smoothly. So we appreciate the help and effort that all the moms give to Scouting. also wouldn't be here without count them, three important scoutmasters. John Schultz, thank you for your dedication and hard work, and for making Evan feel welcome in Troop 542, because he moved here from San Antonio from a previous troop. Carl Close, who's seated over there, was a scoutmaster in Troop 2010 when I had to move on. So Carl continued on with Evan's troop in San Antonio and was a leader the whole time when we were there, so we appreciate his effort and work. And of course, myself. I would be remiss in not saying that I was your den leader. I was your cub master. And for a brief time, I was also your scout master. So I was very pleased when Evan came to me and asked me to come speak today. It was an honor and privilege. Thank you. But desire and drive was all Evan. He had support. Evan earned the Eagle rank, and I was able to watch his growth and his development as he advanced in the ranks in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. So many memories that you and I have together. Camping, whether it was in Philadelphia, whether it was in San Antonio, in West Texas at Buffalo Scout Trails Range, when it was 103 degrees, and there was scorpions and snakes and fire ants and all kinds of scary critters out there. But we had a wonderful time. We were sailing. We actually didn't go to Florida, though. We went to St. Thomas. And so Evan was part of one of the first groups in St. John's and St. Thomas where we spent the week out. It was a very important trip for him because when he moved from Philadelphia to San Antonio, he decided to go back, not with Florida Blues group, but to go back to his friends who was very, very close with him. That was important as your first year, as you can imagine, if you're moving to a new city. So that was nice to feel that connection. Evan learned lashing, knots, cooking, many different swim strokes, fishing, rifle shooting, shotgun shooting, everything that why kids join Scouts, kids today. And so this led him to be prepared for his Eagle Project. Evan's Eagle Project was set to expand a set of existing trails at Pine Run Park. Evan went to an Upper Dublin Township meeting for citizenship in the community for his merit badge. And he met Derek DeRica, who was instrumental in helping. So also Arlen Hotchkiss and Derek DeRica, who helped him find a section of the park at Pine Run Park, and they created a 300-foot trail. But it was a culmination of desire, hard work. Evan gained approval for his plan. He walked the trail, he plotted out the loop, he measured the loop. He tried to keep the environmental impacts to a minimum. And on a cold day in March, when there was snow on the ground, and we had our doubts as to if he was going to make it before his 18th birthday, he led a group, learned how to delegate tasks, and gave leadership support to others. All told, over 200 hours and 25 volunteers helped to make that happen. You can go see that trail today. Evan faced all of these challenges as well as additional obstacles. As I said, moving here was difficult. So I'd like to take one word to describe Evan, and it would be brave. He's moved 3 times in his life, and he's made it work every time. And so we appreciate that. I know it's been very difficult. So, life is full of obstacles, Evan. And success is about overcoming them, but I don't have to tell you that. You already know that. And your example teaches us that lesson. Evan, your 10-year scouting journey began with a single step. A step forward to a Cub Scout meeting. A step forward to join Boy Scouts. Your first step to clear that trail at Pine Run Park. That first step to cut that first branch. Steps are important. Ponder that for a moment. 11 of the 12 footsteps on the moon were made by Scouts. Each step is important. The first step made by Neil Armstrong, who was an Eagle Scout. The last person to walk on the moon, who was a Boy Scout, was Gene Cernan. My wife and I met Gene Cernan. Evan was born 2 days after we talked with Gene Cernan. I think he, being in Scouts, had something to do with that. So Evan, we're so proud of you. You're proof that a spirited heart, determined mind, and courageous soul can accomplish anything. We look up to you today with admiration for what you've accomplished. You were an Eagle Scout, a Penn State Abington College student, a world traveler, a hard worker at Texas Roadhouse, and a great son. In closing, I admit that I don't know the path or your next steps that lay in front of you. Remember, it's not the award that makes the Eagle. It's all the experiences and hard work attached to it, and what the Scout learns from them that makes you an Eagle. Evan, you've achieved the pinnacle of success in Scouting, and we wish you all the best in your next steps in the journey. Thank you.
Thank you Scout. And speaking on behalf for Peter K. Johnson is Peter C. Johnson.
Greetings to everyone here, and welcome. It is an honor and a privilege to recognize Peter Kent Johnson as a recipient of Scouting's highest honor, the Eagle Scout Award. Peter Kent and his brother Griffin are fourth-generation Scouts in our family. Their great-grandfather, Paul Anglish, joined Scouting 90 years ago as a Sea Scout and earned the Quartermaster Award, which is equal to the Eagle Scout Award. He also received the highest honor granted to a Scoutmaster, the Silver Beaver Award. Peter Kent's grandfather, Johnson, is an Eagle Scout, and his father is a Life Scout. 3 years ago, Peter Kent wrote a poem about himself as part of an English class assignment. It is titled, "The Stories Within." I am from the cloud of blue smoke, from home-light chainsaws and Polaris snowmobiles. I am from stucco and brown siding and beds of purple cornflower. I am from the creek, cold, rocky, and clear. And for those of you who don't know, creek is the mountain word for creek. I am from trips to the mountains in the fall and winter and loud voices of baseball games. I am from snowmobiling in the woods, from keep your eye on the ball and don't run across the bridge. I am from Abington Hospital, from spaghetti and meatballs made by my grandmother, from my dad hanging up 3 trees in a row, trying to cut them down. I am from a camp in the middle of the woods with a creek running next to it. I am from the wall of pictures of my great-grandparents and many of their albums with pictures of relatives. I am from a wood-burning furnace, from making fires outside at night with my dad in the old fire pit we dug out, from swimming in the freezing cold stone pool made by my great-grandfather. In the final segment, he's referring to his great-grandfather Johnson. I've been asked to describe how Peter Kent demonstrates leadership and exemplifies the values of scouting in his everyday activities. I immediately thought of the Scout Oath, which begins with what I believe are the 3 most important words in scouting: on my honor. Peter Kent can be trusted. He tells the truth. His word is his bond. As an example, one of Peter Kent's dreams was to go to Philmont Scout Ranch with Troop 542. He had committed to play for the local American Legion baseball team, which requires attendance at every game during the season. He honored that commitment rather than breaking that agreement by going to Philmont. I will do my best. Peter Kent is a very hard worker. He can be counted on to complete his work tasks. He is not a quitter. This past winter, while wrestling for his high school team, he suffered a shoulder injury from an illegal body slam. He continued to attend every practice and meet, work out, and complete physical therapy. Near the end of the season, he returned to wrestling and came very close to qualifying for the state regional tournament. To do my duty to God and my country. We strongly believe that a significant aspect of service to God is how we treat people. Peter Kent respects individuals, regardless of their race, color, religious beliefs, or economic status. Our family and friends were taking pictures of Peter Kent and his date before they left for his senior prom. 3 employees of his father's company, who are Hispanic, and with whom Kent worked for 4 years, were finishing up some yard work at Peter Kent's house. He insisted that they join him and his date for pictures with him. He has a strong commitment to duty for country. Peter Kent is voluntarily committed to the Reserve Officers Training Board at college. He will receive a commission as a 2nd lieutenant in the U.S. Army upon graduation in 4 years, and to obey the Scout law. My time is too limited to describe how Peter Kent practices the Scout law every day, but I see the law's impact on his daily living, especially in how he interacts with people. He is courteous, kind, cheerful, and friendly. To help other people at all times. Besides helping out his grandparents on more occasions than can be counted, and transporting his its elderly neighbors, and excuse me, Joe, for saying elderly, by removing snow from their sidewalk and driveway since he was about 12 years old. To keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Peter Kent is in excellent physical condition and has worked out on his own with his teammates to maintain top-notch physical skills. The physical demands of his ROTC program are considerable. The Army requires its officers to be physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scouting had a major positive impact in the development of Peter Kent's leadership skills. A final example of Peter Kent's commitment and dedication to anything he does involves his Eagle Project. As mentioned in his biography, the organization he collected baseball and softball gear for informed him that he had collected and delivered more equipment than any other person or entity in that organization's history. And to demonstrate how others respect him and his leadership, numerous fellow scouts and teammates and many parents and friends assisted him in achieving his Eagle Project goals. Congratulations, grandson, on earning Scouting's highest award and for honoring your family's Scouting legacy. I love you more than I can ever describe.
I'd like to inform everyone that the table up here on my left and right are many commendations and awards for the boys here this evening. And after the ceremony, I welcome you to come forward and take a look at them. At this time, the important part of the ceremony is the presentation of the Eagle Scout Award. So, if Peter Kent Johnson, please escort his parents to the front. And if Eagle Scout Evan Biondi, could you please escort your parents up?
Well, it certainly is my honor, my privilege to be able to award both of these guys their Eagle Medal. Once we get Peter's pinned on him, if you take a look, it's going to look a little bit different than some of the other ones. This is actually his grandfather's Eagle Medal. That will be pinned on him. Himself. And since we know that no scout makes it all the way to Eagle entirely on his own, both of these guys received a lot of support and guidance and helpful tips, hints, and kicks in the butt from parents at home. And so we also have a couple of ways to honor them. And so I have a pin for your mother. And a pin for your father as well. And finally, a rose for your mom. And this trophy is on behalf of the Troop Committee, and it reads, Peter K. Johnson, Troop 542, achieved rank of Eagle Scout. And the date printed on these is actually the date of the District Board of Review, which is kind of when the last stamp goes on the requirements being completed. So it reads May 16th, 2019. Up next we have Evan, and I'm certainly proud to be able to award this Eagle Medal to Evan, so I'll pass this to your mother. recognition of the support received from parents throughout their walk towards Eagle. Evan, thank you for your mother. And feel free to that. And then once again, on behalf of the troop committee, we have a trophy for you here that reads Evan S. Biondi, Troop 542, achieved rank of Eagle Scout May 16, 2019.
Thanks, Joe.
That's the official one, make sure I get that.
Peter, if you could please escort your parents back to their seats and then come back to the front. Evan, escort your parents back to their seat and then please return to the front.
And again, we know that Eagle Scouts receive a lot of support from various folks, both at home, within the Scout troop, friends, other family members as well. And so a number of years ago, Boy Scouts of America started a program called the Eagle Scout Mentor Pin. And so each of these Scouts will receive an Eagle Scout Mentor Pin that they get to choose who's going to receive this pin that they feel was somebody that helped them along their way towards their achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout. And so I'm going to start with Peter here. He's going to test you the pin, and you can let us all know who you're going to be next to, and we'll go ahead and do that.
Give this to my grandfather.
And then we also have one for Evan, so if you let us know who you're going to do that to. Go ahead and do so.
I don't believe he's here tonight, but I'm giving it to Derek.
Derek DeRico. And at this time, we have some more troop traditions. Peter, could you please spell your name on the Eagle Scout roster and then move your name from the life rank to the Eagle rank. And then take a seat here up front. And Evan, if you could do the same, please unveil your name on the Eagle Scout roster and then move your name from the life rank to the Eagle rank. And have a seat up here. At this time, our Scoutmaster will give the boys their Eagle Scout channel.
Thank you, Ed. So I know we're coming down to the end of the program here and getting ready to head off out back to what we have going on tonight. But if you could indulge me for just a few moments, I have a few words to speak to these folks, to these two boys in front of us, and then also to others in the room as well. So first of all, it goes without saying that I'm extremely proud of each of you guys for the work that you've done, and I would like to personally congratulate you and welcome you to the Brotherhood of Eagle Scouts. And this ceremony tonight is the beginning of a new opportunity and a new commitment. Both of these young men here have worked for years to accomplish great things and to learn amazing skills. But the uniforms that they wear here are not going to last forever. And the medals that they have pinned on their shirts, they're not going to be worn every day that they're out there in the world. So what happens from here? Well, I heard a speaker recently talk about how to stand out when you don't actually fit in. And I'm sure each of us in this room, parents, scouts, and others, that we can all think of a time when we didn't fit in. Maybe it was with our fellow scouts who had different priorities or different goals than us. Might have been with friends who chose school clubs or sports time or other priorities over top of things that maybe we didn't agree with. Or maybe with peers that turned down a poor path of decisions that led to trouble with parents, with school, with the law, ways that we didn't fit in. And while these times of not fitting in can cause us to feel left out, or in some cases excluded, perhaps there's another way to look at these moments as well. And what if we consider them as opportunities? You see, every interaction that we have with others, either one-on-one or as part of a group, causes us to make a choice. And our options are three. We can either conform to that group and try to be the same as others. We can put up walls around us, both physically, emotionally, and even mentally. Or our third option is that we can engage with others while still being willing to stand out and to stand up. For as scouts, we promise to put ourselves third. And when we say the scout oath, we promise to put God first, others second, and ourselves third. But following that oath means that we need to be aware of the needs of others. We need to have an understanding of their situation or of their way of life. Does this mean that we need to take on their characteristics, that we need to make the same choices as them? No, it doesn't. So the oath is not asking us to conform to the ways of others, but how about those walls that we might put up? What would happen if we just closed ourselves out from interacting with others? Or if we never asked any of the hard questions about the meaning of life or how we fit into humanity's story? See, if we wall ourselves off from those around us, or from the world around us, then we can't grow and we can't learn. We can't understand others, and so therefore as scouts we cannot fulfill our duty to God or our duty to other people if walling ourselves off. So what about that third choice? That option to engage. See, engagement with others and the world around us through natural creations, and with our own search for the meaning in life. This may sound very philosophical and college lecturous, but trust me, that's not my forte, so that's not where this goes. But in reality, it all boils down to the purpose and the meaning of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. You see, in order to keep our promise that we made as scouts by saying the oath, we need to engage in each of these areas in life. So how do we do that? Well, actually, it's pretty simple. We live up to the Scout Law every day. We are reverent by searching for meaning in life, by learning from others that may have a different understanding, of which those social walls don't help if we want to engage in that. We might be helpful by lending a hand to a neighboring need, and then we can learn something about ourselves that maybe only that person is in a position to actually see in us. We can be loyal to friends and family, and you may be able to make a lasting impact that only God is going to know would happen. You see, Evan, Peter, as Eagle Scouts, you and I both are committed to a life of striving for better, of building relationships that allow us to help other people, of always searching for meaning, of never saying good enough when something really could be better. Study the world around you and engage in a way with others and with this amazing world out there that is more than just superficial. So what are you willing to do? Are you willing to stand out rather than simply fit in? My challenge for you, Peter and Evan, and fellow scouts here as well, is this: do for others, especially when nobody is watching. Set your priorities by putting God first and your search for understanding, setting others before yourself, and then taking time for yourself to grow and to learn. And so, as Eagle Scouts, you are no longer just representing yourself in this challenge, but you're representing an entire brotherhood of those that have gone before you, both young and old, that have made a similar commitment for well over 100 years now. And this commitment is going to force you to make some very tough decisions. But I believe in each one of you. The values that you've learned and that you've shown as Eagle Scouts tell me that you're ready to take on this challenge. So let me leave you with just a few words from Scouting's founder, Robert Baden-Powell, which were written in a letter in 1940, where he said, "No one can pass through life any more than he can pass through a bit of country without leaving tracks behind. And those tracks may often be helpful to those coming after him in finding their way." And so, as you leave this troop, as you might leave this area, leave this country, who knows, and as you move through life, what tracks are you going to leave behind in the lives of others around you and in the world around you? So I challenge you to make the tracks that are worthy to follow. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Now, the response to John's challenge, we'll hear from Evan.
I first joined Scouting in first grade in the Cub Scouts because my dad thought it would be a great idea. He's definitely right. I ended up sticking with it for 10 years after that day. Throughout these 10 years, I've learned various skills such as first aid, orienteering, cooking, and most importantly, hiking and leadership skills. Everything I learned in Scouting only ate with my little brother. I led a team of over 20 volunteers for 2 days to build a 300-foot trail in Pineland Park. We all worked hard and it was a great accomplishment for the community. I will always remember one of my favorite experiences in Scouting was Seagulls. Me and 5 of my friends were on a boat for a week. During that time, I learned how to sail, prepare meals, and navigate. I also visited several islands and witnessed the local culture. I always have great memories of being on our mission with my friends. I want to take a moment to thank my dad for helping me through every step of this project and being an amazing father, as well as Arlen Hotchkiss for being my Eagle mentor and helping me through the planning process of the Eagle project, Carl Close for being my den leader and taking over from my father as Scoutmaster for 2010, as well as a super special thanks to Derek for helping me throughout the entirety of the project. Derek is a community leader who has helped countless scouts in the community. Finally, I would like to thank Troop 542 for working tirelessly to create a quality program for everyone involved. In conclusion, Scouting gave me the independence and confidence to achieve my life. Since its main Eagle, I am now studying forensic science and look forward to working in that program. I know that Scouting will always be a part of my life, and I look forward to giving back to the community and continuing to work with Scouting.
And now we'll hear from Peter and Johnson in response to John's challenge.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to be supporting and celebrating tonight. It's such an honor for me to see my youth scouting work. After 6 years of scouting, my father was a White Scout and my grandfather was an Eagle Scout, who was a Scoutmaster and had a troop of his own. I guess you could say scouting is in my blood. Scouting is definitely something I wanted to be involved in. I've always loved the outdoors and camping was a great interest to me. I joined Cub Scouts back class 77 when I was 7 years old, and I won first place with the best design of my final year. So far, so good. I stayed with Cub Scouts for a couple of years and took a couple years off from the final schedules. I joined Troop 542 when I was in 7th grade. I was so excited to be part of such a large troop, and more importantly, the troop in which my dad became a White Scout under J. Ironman. My first scout trip was Draw Mountain. This was a movie-making trip. I really enjoyed this and had fun with my fellow scouts. At the Scouts, I learned many skills such as leadership, camping skills, like hiking, fireworking, cooking, trail mapping, and orientation. Setting up campsites and tents, shooting an axe throwing, and yes, I said axe throwing. I won the competition at the Conduct Derby. I would say one of the most important and inspiring things about Scouts is helping fellow Scouts. My first backpacking trip, which was just a year ago, was a very memorable one. My younger brother Griffin and I are in the same troop and were able to pour teamwork and leadership skills in use. We noticed a younger scout struggling with carrying his gear. The scout law says that scouting should be helpful, so I put the scout law into effect and carried the scout's backpack the rest of the night, along with my own green backpack. It felt good to know that I was helping the scout in a difficult hike. For Mount Series with 2 trips, I knew I wanted to attend after taking 3 of the governing bus lesson after coming back from shoulder injured early in the season, after taking 3 year hiatus from the sport. I feel as though the scout law enabled me to persevere with wrestling and that I was brave enough to work through my injury and come back with such an accomplishment. Teamwork is another part of the scout law that helped me in my baseball career over at high school. This past spring during my senior year of varsity baseball, I'm cold and every day. I pitched 5 or 3 innings with no hits and 8 strikeouts. The relief pitcher and I were able to pitch no hitter together. Scouting is fun to be a team player and to belong to myself and others. I was involved in many things during my scouting career, but I have to say that my involvement with other scouts and providers was one of my most memorable scouting moments. I was fortunate enough to help with the tree restoration project at Church of Running Garden in the Greenwood area. Building the bridge at Esco Falls, building the Paris and welfare at the Navy Base Dam, and the third meadow drive to the stadium field. Summer camp, the tree buffalo tree is really something I look forward to. I went to Esco Falls 5 times and thoroughly enjoyed every trip. While at summer camp, I earned many of my merit badges and learned many scouting skills. I also really enjoyed building campfires, building got to hang out with fellow scouts and adult leaders. These are times I will always remember. I can't say I've done this all on my own. There are many people who were involved in my scouting career and who helped me get to the finish line. I'd like to start off by thanking my parents for the guidance they provided and for being there for everything. My father has been the most instrumental person at scouting career. He was always there to encourage my participation and support me when I had to make tough decisions. He helped me stay on the path that I might be around. There were times I wanted to take the easy road, but he was there to help me with my faith, motivated me to do what I needed in order to get there. I like to thank my brother Griffin, who was also a fellow scout, for all his help and support. He was very involved with the project, and for that I am grateful. My sister Aldo joined her busy social life and stayed at home as well. I'd like to thank my grandfather, Bongo, for being a great scout role model for all the encouragement he provided along the way. He was inspirational on my path and my life. Thank you to my grandparents and my aunt for also providing their support. I'd like to thank Jay Diamond, who was a scoutmaster during my scouting career, for his guidance and support leadership. Miss Diamond, you were a huge support. Miss Diamond, you were a huge help, and I really appreciate all of your support. I'd like to thank all the adult leadership in the team, specifically John Schultz and Dave Moore and my Eagle coach, for support and guidance throughout my scouting career. I'd like to say thank you all to the Scouts for the true, present and past, at a lot of your times through the years. I'd like to thank Mr. Dean, Dr. Hotchkiss, Mr. Harris, and Mr. Myers. I'd also like to thank Amateur Junior Baseball and Softball, pitching for baseball and softball, for allowing me to serve a true and Eagle flag. It was great to be combined 2 things I was such passion for, all giving back to the community. In the end, during my Eagle run was a great accomplishment for me, and I feel as though it's a step along my journey ahead of me. Scouting has equipped me with the skills and experiences I need to look forward to acquiring these and challenges to come.
Thank you, Peter. And at this time, I'd like to reintroduce Jason Sergio, who will lead us in the Eagle Scout pledge. So all Eagle Scouts, please rise.
I reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize that I take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to apply Scouting's values so that I can be an example of responsible, disposition citizen and leader, strengthen my relationships with other people, and make my status and influence as an Eagle Scout count strongly for better scouting and better citizenship in my troop and my community.
Thank you, Jason. Please be seated. And I'd like to again reintroduce Carol Faddis, who will give us our benediction. Grandmother Peter Scott, or Peter Johnson.
We ask you, Almighty God, to bless all of Evan Scott's and Peter Kent's future endeavors. Walk with them wherever their lives take them, and empower them with your strength, your wisdom, and your love. And may all of us here tonight be committed to the ideals of Scouting, which encourage us to live better lives. We know that being an Eagle Scout is a lifelong responsibility, and we pray that they would amplify these callings for many years to come. Now we ask that you dismiss us with your blessing. Amen.
Thank you, Carol. Now, one final troop tradition before we leave this evening. I would ask that the Eagle Scouts please come forward and stand in front of the table over here. And all Eagle Scouts in the audience this evening, please come forward first to congratulate our new Eagle Scouts. Come forward and congratulate our Eagle Scouts. After all the Eagle Scouts have come through, we ask the rest of the attendees to please congratulate these two fine young men. Families have asked that you join them in the narthex now that our ceremony is over for some light refreshments. Thank you and for coming this evening. Drive safely. No.